What are the cultural and communication barriers to international successful negotiation? And how do we overcome them? Negotiating across cultural barriers can broaden the scope and bring major benefits. However, this can represent a challenge since cultural considerations influence the form and substance of the deal. And if it is not properly managed, the negotiation can lead to misunderstandings based on cross cultural differences. Barriers. The barriers in communication can be related to problems due to language misunderstandings or the use of unprofessional language through the incorrect employment of phrases. Regarding the culture, it can be the difficulty to understand each behavior and attitudes, and as well the way culture impacts the interaction of the parties at the negotiation through different ideologies and behavior patterns. In this way, the following strategies can help to overcome the barriers. Do your homework about your supplier's culture. One aspect that does not go unnoticed is an interest in the culture of the counterparty. It is important to do research to learn about customs, rituals, among others, to make that negotiation process more effective and also to avoid making offensive mistakes. Respect for cultural differences. Respect for cultural differences during a negotiation is essential. For this reason, when we are going to enter into negotiations with unfamiliar counterparts, it is important to do research. Through this, we will be able to develop a problem-solving conversation. Perception of your culture. Another important factor is to be aware of how your culture is perceived. In this way, we can proceed through an analysis of how the foreign party sees the behavior, attitudes, values, among others, and in case the perspective is negative, we can adjust our approach to get a better outcome. Bridge the culture gap. Rather than focusing on intercultural barriers, it is key to find ways to build bridges across cultures. We may achieve it through identifying cultural similarities as shared ancestry or familiar customs. Or we can also go beyond cultures and find similarities as shared experiences, interest, and goal. How does emotional intelligence might be used during an international business negotiation effectively, constructively, and positively? On the other hand, having the capacity to identify, control, and express one's emotions while managing interpersonal relationships with judgment and empathy is known as emotional intelligence. I consider that during a negotiation, by properly integrating emotional intelligence into the process, we gain the ability to communicate to the other party essential information about ourselves, our position, and the approach we wish to receive in the process. In addition, it allows us to convey our needs and interests. Therefore, it is possible to state that emotions play a key role in the search for a resolution. Conclusion. Lastly, negotiations are key processes to move forward at work, solve conflicts, and to create value. Through them, two or more parties with common interests seek to reach an agreement that benefits them. However, the importance of negotiation is not limited to conflict resolution. In fact, the proper approach to negotiation can improve the situation for multiple parties. In this way, it is important to mention that undoubtedly the success of international business relationships depends on the effective business negotiations. Therefore, it is imperative for negotiators to be well prepared and possess the skills required to conduct a successful process. Additionally, by knowing the factors that are necessary to achieve good results and also the relevant aspects such as the negotiation, issues, the challenges, and also the opportunities, negotiators will be able to be more effective in the deal. And in the case of international negotiations, prior to starting them, it is a must to become acquainted with the characteristics of the culture of the other party or parties involved, since they require a deep understanding of the culture, the language, the knowledge, the ideologies, and many others. Also, it must be emphasized that cultural differences have a strong influence on numerous aspects of the process. And consequently, it is vital to understand the relationship of the culture to a successful negotiation outcome. Likewise, negotiators must consider those local and also the global signals in terms of attitudes, behavior, and also the approach in order to define a negotiation strategy.